David Menzies for Rebel News here in Chatham, Ontario. And folks, I'm standing outside the old Sears store that is to become a new $53 million city hall / community hub. And the questions arise. Is it needed? Is it wanted? And who stands to financially benefit from this project? And I'm standing with Rick Nichols. He is the former PC MPP who unfortunately had to step aside due to Doug Ford's COVID mandates. You remember that, don't you, folks? And the reason I'm with Rick today is that he speaks for many voices about what looks to be like a financial boondoggle for a city hall / community center that is not really necessarily needed or wanted. And Rick, tell me, what is your problem with this particular proposed community hub?
Well, first off, the Rob Myers, who is the owner of the mall, in past he's done a lot of good work for the city in terms of buildings, but that was at his own expense. This time around, it will be at the expense of the taxpayer. Now, the mayor has stated that it's not going to cost taxpayers any money. Well, I'm saying, well, where does that money come from? Well, it comes from the taxpayer. I don't care if you budget it or not, but once that money is gone, then where do you get the money to replace for important things such as infrastructure? And of course, that's going to come from the taxpayer.
I guess the debate was that the old city hall needs some renovations. It needs a new HVAC system. So people are saying that buying this husk of a Sears store for $53 million is going to be much cheaper than renovating the current city hall. What do you say to that?
I think that's a statement that is untrue by many. When we take a look at the cost to renovate, and the cost of renovation has been kicked down from council to council over the years, but we're looking at approximately $37 million. So the estimate is to repair it, or to repair it. But if they leave the council chambers on the second floor, they can save an additional $10 million, which takes it down to about $27 million. Now, the Architectura, who they paid in excess of probably a couple of $1 million to come up with these renderings for a real fancy, what I call shiny object building. They're saying that it's probably going to cost to retrofit the Sears building in excess of $56 million. But we all
know.
So
the price is already doubled now.
Well, you know what? It's looking as though once they get everything in place, it'll be in excess of $100 million. And the one thing that hasn't been taken into place is the fact that if you're having 150 employees into that Sears building, washrooms, infrastructure below the surface has not been taken into consideration. And when you do that, plus you look at trying to retrofit anything, the costs will in fact double.
If you were to have a plebiscite and say, is this where you want your money spent? What do you think the answer would be based on the people you've chatted with?
Oh, the answer would be no.
Okay.
No, they don't want this. You take a look at the smaller communities around. Amalgamation was back in, I believe, around 1997. And we combined, for example, Wallaceburg, Blenheim, Bothwell, Ridgetown, Merlin, Wheatley, Tilbury, all these smaller communities suddenly became part of Chatham, Kent, as opposed to just Chatham. And they had their own fire departments, they had their own libraries and so on. This is not going to bring people from out of town in those smaller communities into Chatham to go to a library. They have their own library, unless they decide to close it, and that would be a big mistake.
And so many other councillors, the majority, voted to go ahead with this expenditure.
Well, I have a theory. Politicians, although I was one, politicians like to put their thumbprint on different things. And I'm sure that this mayor wants to put his thumbprint on, look at what I did. And some of the councillors, look at what I did as well.
But at the end of the day, these are taxpayer dollars.
There's an old saying, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. And you know what? When I look at this building, they're doing some exterior to make it look sharp and clean and so on. I was looking at the parking garage, the fresh coat of paint and so on. They've got people doing a few things there. But when you take a look at the bottom line, even the city taxpayers are going to be responsible because they've gone on record saying that the parking garage, the employees will have to pay monthly to park their vehicles there. They don't have to pay currently at the current Civic Center. There's some underground parking there.
Okay.
But if they have to pay here, it could amount anywhere from maybe $90,000 to maybe even $120,000. That's speculating right now, per year that the taxpayer will have to pay. So you compound that over 10 years, you're in excess of $1 million just for parking.
And I should mention, I did reach out to the mayor. I have not heard back, Rick. But here's the deal. It has gone through by a vote of 12 to 5.
That's correct.
But as I understand it, there's still some wiggle room for a Hail Mary, I guess, cancellation of this. The tender has not been approved by the city. Is that correct?
That is correct. The vote was 12 to 5 to put it out for tender. But the magic word is, well, $53 or $56 million. Don't come in over top of that. Yeah. The mayor said, well, if it comes in over top of that, then he'll vote against it. Well, you know what? There's, I think, a little bit of, I want to say hanky-panky, I suppose, going on there, where in fact, well, what's the number? And I'll come in just underneath that number. And you never know who might be putting in bids. It could even be a local contractor who may have some inside information. That remains to be seen. Locally, when we take a look at the current road conditions, we have a water treatment plant that needs work. We've got other issues within the entire community. I look at the Wheatley community right now, what they've been up against with possible gas leaks and so on. It's just one major project on top of another. Let's better spend our money fixing what we have and then addressing other current issues. And for me, it's all about safety.
If you and other concerned members and councillors that voted against this reach out to the Premier, do you think he has the appetite to do anything about it?
Well, I'm hopeful that he would. Okay. However, taking a look at a recent bill passed in the Ontario Legislative Assembly, Bill 5, that is a real eyesore pertaining to the community of Dresden, which is slightly north of Chatham, where in fact York 1 is wanting to put in a dump there. And of course, we're worried about the ecosystem and everything else there. And he's basically wiped his hands of that. So I'm hoping that he will in fact listen and put us in touch with the right people, but that remains to be seen. We still have an opportunity to get our $2.9 million back by the end of this year, roughly. And in doing so, then we're going to save that money, although we've already spent, several millions of dollars already, close to about $10 million. If in fact we can derail this, that money can best be spent at the Civic Center in upgrades. The people can be shipped to other locations in the city until the renovations are done. And then we'll have an even more beautiful, on the river, at the Bend, Civic Center in Chatham. And if in fact they want to move the fire hall, the number 1 fire hall, elsewhere, probably be a cost of around $15 million to the taxpayer. But they can take that space and, again, renovate that space where the fire department was. And we'll have just a gorgeous, gorgeous Civic Center.
They're just spending money like drunken sailors. There are many other things that they can be putting this millions of dollars into. They're not. They're doing unnecessary things for the community, and we're paying for it. And absolutely, we should not be doing it. Everyone should be standing and taking charge, for the people.
A sad sight you see in every Canadian municipality these days: homeless people, drug addicted people. And again, it just goes to where the city's priorities are when it comes to spending money on what many are claiming to be a Taj Mahal community hub center that this municipality cannot afford.
Absolutely. We need to start putting our money, our taxpayer money, into the people. We just got rid of a homeless encampment. I don't know if it was because it looked bad or what, but I don't know where those people went. Maybe put that money into them, help them get off the streets, help them get off the drugs, help people be people so we can lift each other up, support each other. We don't need that. We need love, care, and, we need that put into the right spots, and, we need change in the right ways. And it's about time.
Hey folks, I know you love it when Rebel News brings you the other side of the story. The fact is, we need your help. Unlike the trained seals that comprise the mainstream media, we don't get any Mark Carney cash. Here's where you come in. Can you go to rebelfieldreports.com? That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you're able to, kindly make a donation.